So YCS Atlantis just concluded a little bit ago, and obviously the best deck is Pendulum Magician, but there are a lot of variants for the deck, and in my opinion, the best variant of Pendulum Magician is Pendulum Magician FTK. So what is Pendulum Magician FTK? The deck is revolved around copying the effect of a card called Lyra Lusty Independent Nightingale with 2 Supreme King Dragon Starving Venoms. Nightingale's only relevant effect to the FTK is as follows. Once per turn, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's level times 500. Starving Venom can copy that effect with its effect. What's relevant here is that Starving Venom is a level 8. This means you can burn your opponent for 4,000 damage with just 1 Starving Venom. If you had 2 Starving Venoms, however, then you would have 8,000 damage, dealing exact game to your opponent. You might be wondering, how do you get Nightingale out in the first place? The answer to that is instant fusion. For some stupid reason, however, Konami decided to give Pendulum a way to search a fusion spell with Pendulum monsters, which would be Supreme King Gate 0, requiring you to have Supreme King Gate Infinity in your other Pendulum zone. You would then use the effect of 0, destroying both of the cards to search a fusion spell, which in this case would be instant fusion. The only requirement for this combo is basically having Electrum, 4 Dark Pendulum monsters, and a way to access instant fusion. This might sound like a lot at first glance, but when you realize how easy this FTK is to pull off, it really isn't as difficult as you would imagine. So now that I have explained how this combo works, I'm going to talk about why this deck is so scary. This deck is incredibly scary considering if you go second and don't open a hand trap, you're either going to lose through an FTK or most likely lose through a 2 to 3 negations. The other reason this deck is so terrifying is considering how Pendulum Magicians are so consistent, they could quite easily set up this FTK. You basically have to get lucky they don't open well enough to set up an FTK, unless you open a hand trap. Speaking of hand traps, I think that hand traps are probably the greatest weakness of this deck. If, for example, you have a hand trap to stop Electromite, at least before their Pendulum Summon, you most likely will not get FTK'd. It also becomes an issue for the mirror because you don't want to play as many hand traps because you are playing a Pendulum deck. My last point as to why this deck is scary is because the deck doesn't need to rely on this FTK strategy to win. It is still Pendulum Magicians, meaning it can still do insane plays like 2 to 3 negates turn 1 with resources in hand. If you just add a few cards and remove a few hand traps, your deck becomes an FTK deck that doesn't have to rely on its FTK. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The next video will be talking about something relevant to this discussion. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time.